Wow, y'all just got real quiet real quick. That's great. I thought I was going to have to use my teacher voice, and I'm glad I do not. Okay, hello, and this is great. Thank you guys all for being here. My name is Sam McCabe. I am the director for the Center for Entrepreneurship and Community Development, long name, here at Loyola. This is an absolute pleasure to get to have y'all here tonight. Thank you so much for being here. So this is the third year that we've done this Wolf Pack LaunchU pitch competition presented by Dr. Bobby and Lori Kent Savoie. By the end of tonight, we'll have given out close to $100,000 in funding to Loyola-based entrepreneurs. Yeah, hey, how about that? Unfortunately, there's only 30 tonight, but that's a pretty good amount of money. We started off this year with nearly 50 applications for this program. We whittled it down to 21 in the application process, worked with all 21 of those teams all summer, and have now got it down to 8 finalist teams who you're going to get to watch pitch tonight. Those are made up of alumni and faculty and staff and students from right here at Loyola. And we even had a team of a parent and 2 students that were on the team this year. They were great. Unfortunately, all 21 of those teams can't make it to this round, so our top 8 get to pitch tonight. That was all I had for now. I'm thinking through my notes. I'm sorry. It's been a busy week working with all these teams and working with everybody all summer. I want to say one more time just how incredible this year's teams have been. This is going to be a really exciting night. And I would now like to welcome Dr. Cole to the stage to say a couple words.
Thanks, Sam, and good evening, everybody. For those who are alumni, welcome home. We're happy to have you here. I just wanted to come in and just say a few words of congratulations to all the teams that have made to this final round. The work that you're doing here, this entrepreneurial work, this creative and collaborative work, Loyola preparing you to go out in the world. I understand that most of the finalists are alums, right? Recent alums from our programs. All right, yeah, it's good to see you. Nice to be out there doing good things. And I do wish you luck. I also want to thank our panel of judges that have come out tonight on, yes, the second rainy night that I've been a part of to judge our students. Please, I hope that you give them good feedback because that's how they grow. And, and it just makes them stronger. I want to say that, Ignatius, this is what it was all about, this creativity, this spirit, this work ethic, this drive. And so this iterative work that you've been doing really is making a difference. So I just want to let you know that you make us very proud. I wish you very good luck. I understand not everyone can win, but, you're all winners in my heart. You're all my babies, and we're very happy to have you back here. Good luck to you, and enjoy the pitch. Thank you, Sam.
Thanks, Dr. Cole. And we wouldn't be able to put this program on without our awesome faculty and staff and donors and everybody else. And one of those people is both of those things, and that is our amazing interim dean, Dr. Bobby Savoie. And so if you wouldn't mind, would you like to welcome everybody here? If you, I don't think I told him I was going to do that.
Thank you all for being here. Congratulations to all the teams for making it to this point, which is a major accomplishment. And I need to apologize to my graduate level entrepreneurship class. I told them they would not have to see me in a tie again this semester after the first class, but we had the Mass of the Holy Spirit today, so I didn't have time to go home and change. So unfortunately, y'all have to see me in a tie. And yes, you're going to be completing the same judging sheets that we are, and you have to turn them in before the next class, because we're going to be talking about them. So thank you to the mentors that have worked with all these teams, because a lot of people put a lot of time into making this night happen. And thank you, Sam, the Energizer Bunny, because this wouldn't happen without him.
Thanks, Bobby. All right, so speaking of the people that are going to make this all happen, we have this amazing panel of 7 judges here tonight that are going to be the Mark Cubans and everybody else from Shark Tank. So who wants to be Mark? No? Okay. Amy? All right, so from here at Loyola, we have Maxim Belitsky and Dr. Bobby Savoie. We also have, from class of 06, Jeffrey Duson Jr., Kimberly Fontan, MBA 2000, Philip Lepere from Latrim MBA 20, Marvin Saborio from Gulf Coast Bank, who's on our visiting committee, and last but not least, Amy Sins, alumni extraordinaire, and too many titles for me to list. So on top of that, we worked with a little over 30 mentors over the summer who worked with our teams, helping them build out these business plans and pitches that you're going to see tonight. There's too many to list on this screen, but they are in that lovely program that you can take a look at. Thank you to all of you mentors that are here tonight. I know I saw a bunch of y'all's faces. And if you're watching online, I know a couple of y'all are too. Hello. Our judges are going to have a 100-point rubric that they will be using to score all of these so that we can get a baseline before we deliberate for prizes later. 40 points are based solely on their problem and solution. 40 points are then on their prototype, their research, their business model, and their market opportunity. And then the last 20 points are combined from competition, their team, their ask, and just the quality of their presentation. These judges are going to have a hard time with this. These teams are incredible. I do not envy you. These are order of our pitches. We have 8 pitches. We will roll right through them. They each get 8 minutes to pitch and 3 minutes of judges' questions afterwards. I promise you we will try to stay as best on time as we can. We've gotten good at running these things. So that's all I'm going to say. I don't have anything else to say other than good luck to all 8 of our teams, and honestly, thank you all for doing this and for being here. And thank you to all of you for being here. This is really an incredible turnout, and I'm so honored as an alum of this university to get to do these sorts of things with our students and fellow alum. So without further ado, I'd like to welcome Hayden Parker from the class of 24 up to pitch Gumbo Film Lab.
Hello, my name is Hayden Parker, and I'm the owner/CEO of Gumbo Film Lab. Now, when you choose to shoot on film, whether you just finished up a disposable camera roll or you just shot on a 35mm point and shoot or even something bigger like a medium format film camera, you eventually want to see those pictures that you took, right? You understand it's not just like an iPhone picture, not a digital camera picture. You're not going to see it instantaneously, but still, you took that picture for a reason. And we can all agree it shouldn't be a hassle to get your pictures back. But currently in New Orleans, it's really not so simple, okay? And that's because once you finish up your roll, right, and you try to send it off, you'll do something like Google Film Labs near me, and Google will give you a bunch of results. But the problem with those results is most of them don't offer film development at all, and if they do, they're a place like CVS or Walgreens, which ship your film out of state, which takes weeks and weeks to get back to you, and they do it for a huge markup, something that you just could have done yourself. Matter of fact, there's only one in all of Louisiana that develops your film in-house, okay? And that's Way in Metairie, and they're primarily a print shop. And with that, they have a monopoly on the market, so they're able to set their prices super high. It's not their bread and butter film, so they'll still take a long time to get it back to you, and the results are inconsistent, to say the least. Now, other than those options, you also have the option to use a mail-in photo lab, where you mail in your photos yourself to somewhere out of state. But the problem with these is they take in thousands and thousands of rolls a day, okay, from all across the country, even outside of the country. And, with that, you get lackluster customer service. You're sending it off to a bunch of strangers. You're getting inconsistent results, and you don't have that personalization. But the biggest problem that I faced personally that made me start this business is lost rolls, okay? Imagine you shoot a super important wedding or something of that nature, and it gets lost in the mail. You don't want that to happen, right? I've had that happen to me. That's why I started up this business. So we at Gumbo Film Labs, we take that frustration out of getting your film developed and scanned, okay? You simply go to one of our drop-off box locations that we have located across the city. We currently have 3 set up right now, and we're looking to set up even more so that wherever you are in New Orleans, you'll have a drop-off location nearby. You take your film there, you pick up one of the envelopes, fill it out, and put it in the drop-off box, and you can have your scans back to you within 24 hours, okay? So, who even still shoots film, right? That's a question I get all the time. Well, the facts are there's been a significant resurgence in people searching film-related topics, okay? Things like disposable camera, 35mm film lab near me. On the left here is 2004, and on the right is 2024, okay? And as you can see, interest has gone up over time. People are wanting to shoot on film. You see multiple celebrities are shooting on film, and just now, actually like about a month ago, Pentax just released a new 35 millimeter camera, one of the first ones in years, and their pre-orders have skyrocketed. Even so, they're having to like reimagine their supply lines to keep up with that demand. People are wanting to shoot on film. We're seeing that the old things come reimagined, okay? So, at Gumbo Film Labs, we aim to cater to both consumers and professionals. So on the left here, we have Christine, who's a young person, you know, goes out a lot, likes to take pictures, primarily does it on her iPhone, but she wants to try something a little different, okay? So she picks up a little disposable camera, shoots her night out. She can drop her disposable camera off at one of our drop-off box locations, get her scans back within 24 hours, and post that to Instagram and get those likes, okay? So, and on the right here, we have Jackson, who's 41 years old, and he's more of a professional photographer. He values that quality. You know, he comes to New Orleans for things like weddings and events. And, you know, he also values our quick turnaround time so that he can get his results back to his clients quickly, okay? And we're perfect for that as well, as we offer high-quality scans, and we have that quick turnaround time, okay? So right now, our bread and butter is basically the develop and scan package where people give us their film, we develop it, scan it, and give back those negatives, okay? We do that at $15 a roll, but we also have multiple add-ons that add a little bit in price, like minor editing, including film borders and like rush orders, things of that nature. So at Gumbo Film Lab, we stand out from the competition, okay? When you compare us to places like Walgreens, the Darkroom, which is one of the biggest out-of-state film labs that you mail yourself, and Bennett's Photo, which does develop in town, we're the only ones that have high quality, quick turnaround. We're developed locally. We have those affordable prices, and we have consistent results, okay? Something that none of our competitors have all 5 of. So currently, the team is mostly just myself, right? I do a lot of the developing, but sometimes I'm able to drag my sister Macy along to help me out with things like marketing, stuff of that nature. But we're on the verge of growing with more funding to hire. We want to hire people like lab technicians and stuff like that, just so we're able to keep up with the demand as it increases. So this year, we've already made a profit. Considering our relatively low expenses, we just had to pay for chemicals and a little bit of starter equipment. But even forecasting years later and considering our expenses growing with things like equipment and personnel, we still are forecasted to make quite a bit of profit year after year. So with enough funding, we will first upgrade our current processing and development equipment and hire some people to help us out. That'll just make sure that we're able to keep up with demand. Say like 100 people come to us, they all want their film back within 24 hours. We'll be able to match that demand and more, okay? We'd also like to make more and more drop-off boxes, even in places outside of New Orleans, because it's a whole Louisiana problem. They're all having issues with that, so we could go in places like Baton Rouge and Lafayette, things of that nature. On top of that, we'd like to tap into the tourist economy by making vending machines and putting disposables and 35 millimeter cameras in there so that tourists, say in the French Quarter, are able to take pictures of their experiences, and we'll have a drop-off box attached to that so it'll be like an all-in-one shop, okay? And lastly, we will create all-inclusive like event, all-in-one event. Well, basically, we will have disposables and 35 millimeter film available to events like music festivals and weddings and stuff like that. Stuff where people want more control over, you know, what photos go out. So say they ban iPhone pictures and stuff like that, but they still want pictures of their event. They can have people take pictures with disposables and 35 millimeter film cameras, and we'll develop them all for them, send those scans back to them, so they have that control. That's basically it. Thank you so much for your consideration.
So how did you set your price of $15, and have you done a sensitivity analysis to figure out whether or not that's too expensive, not enough, or will people pay that?
Yeah, we've had a lot of customers so far. It's been surprising, especially considering that we haven't, you know, gone full force into marketing just yet. But yes, people haven't had a problem with paying the $15 per roll. Especially we've, you know, looked at our competition. We're charging just a little bit under so that people are, you know, able to get that stuff developed for cheap. and we'll do it often.
So
Yeah.
you actually achieve it in Walgreens?
Yes, yes.
A very nice presentation. What do you think is behind the resurgence and interest of this photography versus the digital camera, which, from what I understand, the pictures just keep getting better and better on these iPhones?
You see this, mostly I see younger generations going towards film more just because they didn't grow up on it and they grew up with instantaneous stuff. They want to slow down and take more time with their pictures and have something physical, a physical manifestation of that memory. And, you see that with things like records and cassettes becoming more and more popular. Film is going right alongside it. Younger people are getting more interested in it. People are getting older as well, never mind. But yeah.
I have one other question. You expanded your proposal beyond your original into venues like weddings, et cetera.
Yes.
But you don't have a lot of evidence as to why you think that would expand there versus that competition. How do you think about that relative to where you started?
Could you rephrase that question? Sorry, I missed the beginning a little bit.
Sure. Your total ask includes dollars to expand into other markets.
Yes.
But your pitch was all around a specific market. And
Yes.
so how do you think about the expanded market relative to the market and what the competition is in that space?
Well, in those spaces, we'll be pretty much a innovation. There's not many film vending machines around, not many film carts and stuff for events and stuff like that. But we would have that, and it's something that's scalable as well. With our original concept, it's mostly just based on New Orleans and Louisiana as a whole. But things like the film vending machines and the event rentals, that can be expanded. And that's all basically just to help our demand, to find people who want to shoot on film and have that easily accessible to them.
Where's the moat? I think as soon as this got big, if it got really big, Walgreens would just get back in the business because they used to make a ton of money doing it. So are you projecting that this is going to do just well enough that you all can do well, but somebody else doesn't want to come mess around with this?
Pretty much, exactly, yes. But if it does become big, I imagine, Walgreens wouldn't have that infrastructure set up anymore as well. So they'd probably come to somebody like us, and we could possibly partner with them with our labs and stuff like that.
Awesome. All right. Thank you, judges, and thank you, Hayden. Great work. You want it on the next slide? Do you want it? Okay. Here. There you go. We're going to give the judges yes, you need a microphone. Sorry. We're going to give the judges just a second to finish up their scores if they're still working on them. Y'all do not have to tally anything. We can get it in a minute.
Test.
You're good.
Yeah.
We good? How's everybody? Awesome. All right. Up next is Brenna Kane from the class of 2010 and MBA of 17. Brenna?
Awesome. Over 70% of U.S. adults feel the healthcare system is failing to meet their needs. People are looking for a better way. 1/3 have tried holistic services, but many find it overwhelming and really difficult to navigate. Meet Alex. She's a typical millennial juggling a demanding career and a busy personal life. Alex has been suffering from digestive issues for years. After numerous doctor's appointments and hours searching the internet, she still doesn't know what to try or who to trust. Rachel, on the other hand, is a functional dietitian. She specializes in gut health. Rachel is struggling to connect with clients. She spends hours every week creating social media content, forced to rely on influencer-like tactics that really don't align with her values. This divide between practitioners and consumers is leaving both sides unsatisfied. Consumers can't find the care they need. Practitioners can't reach their ideal clients. Ritually bridges this gap. We bring consumers and practitioners together in one platform. We take the guesswork out of wellness by matching consumers with practitioners based on their unique needs. Here's how it works. Alex heads to the Ritually platform. She fills out a brief onboarding quiz. She gives us location, preferred modalities, some health goals, and we create a personalized profile. From this profile, we suggest a curated list of practitioners that meet Alex's specific needs. She can browse reviews and even compare the practitioners right within the platform. She selects an acupuncturist and a dietitian from the list. With just a few easy clicks, she books appointments and even signs up as a Ritually member to get discounts on these services. Now, each practitioner can view Alex's shared health profile, eliminating the need for repetitive intake forms. This demand for personalized holistic health is booming. The global wellness market is set to reach $8 trillion by 2028. And in the US alone, providers in the alternative space have brought in over $41 billion in revenue. A recent McKinsey study shows that millennials are outspending other generations across wellness verticals. So we've decided that our beachhead market is professionals in major US cities between ages 25 and 40. With a potential user base of about 17 million falling within that demographic and our current price, we're looking at $6.8 billion in just our beachhead market alone. This is a huge opportunity with lots of spend increasing every year. With such high demand, it's no surprise that other companies are trying to capitalize. Let's take ClassPass and MindBody, for example. Their combined valuation is already over $3 billion, and they are looking at an IPO later this year. And while they dominate the group fitness market, they've had a really hard time breaking into the one-on-one wellness market. This is because their business model usually results in a race to the bottom when it comes to the quality of their supply. We take a different approach. We take a curated approach at Ritually where we vet each and every practitioner that comes into our market. We also eliminate the need for overwhelming search with our personalized matching system, meeting the needs of today's wellness consumers. Our current price is a consumer model priced at $33 per month. This guarantees a lowest list price from each of our practitioners. As we launch our full product, we'll be able to provide our matching services for free, and then premium memberships for this discounted price, priority booking, so getting in when you actually want to, and exclusive content and events just for our members. Looking ahead, we want to expand our revenue by selling into employer benefit programs. We've already signed on 20 top-tier holistic health practitioners, closing all but our first meeting, that was on me, for an impressive 95% close rate. What's been even more encouraging, though, is our amount of inbound interest and referrals we've been getting on that side of the market, showcasing not only demand, but also people's willingness to discount their services just to be part of Ritually. On the consumer side, we had 51 initial waitlist signups, and we've booked 19 sessions with every single one with 100% five-star review. That's been really exciting, showcasing that our matchmaking process is working. Our current MRR is 165. Right now, we're really focused on getting an incredible product out the door that really meets the demands of this user experience. We're focusing on also expanding our practitioners, not only across services, but deepening in the areas of expertise we've seen the most demand. While we've been bootstrapping thus far, it's time to raise some capital. We're targeting about $500K to expand our team and get and accelerate our beta launch. Next, we want to go after consumer acquisition with more paid digital campaigns, and we want to expand to our next city. We're targeting Austin because it has a really dense population of millennials and also a big wellness affinity. I bring over 8 years of experience working with early-stage startups, running accelerator programs and supporting VCs. Before that, though, I started my career in fitness and wellness, spending about a decade there, and that's where I got the original idea for Ritually. Besides me, I'm backed by a network of experts across product development, growth marketing, and practitioner advisors. We're seeking $30,000 for our product design and development, our paid digital marketing, and to support our team. Everybody so far is working on equity, and so we're looking to be able to get some money in the door and expand. Before I close, I wanted to give you a quick update on Alex. Yes, she's a real Ritually member. No, that's not her name. Alex, after one session with Rachel, was able to get to the root cause of her gut issues. They actually got to her diagnosis, which somehow the doctors had missed for years. They're working on a personalized nutrition plan, and she's even tried complementary services like breathwork to help manage her stress while she's healing. So join us in revolutionizing the health and wellness industry and helping consumers like Alex find the care they need to live happier, healthier lives. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you so much for this. One thing that you mentioned was that you were looking to expand into the areas of most demand, areas of expertise and most demand. Mm-hmm. How are you identifying those and researching those, and what are those?
Great question. So part of why we wanted to run this no-code MVP, not to be too technical about it, was to get some of that data back. So being able to work with customers this from January till now has taught us a lot. We've seen the most demand in acupuncture, functional dietitian, which means functional lab testing, so you can get a little bit deeper. Reiki is really highly rated as well, and so is craniosacral therapy. So that's what we mean by we kind of want to go deep in the verticals. We've been seeing a ton of demand, but then we're also always expanding services. Right now we're at about 22 services. And then in case it wasn't clear, we're in just New Orleans for in-person, so like acupuncture where you have to be in person to get a needle. Yeah, and then we've grown beyond New Orleans already virtually, which has been great, both in members and in practitioners. But we want to keep it really specific when it comes to the in-person, so we'll be in Austin next for that and then go city by city, major U.S. cities.
Okay, so how does insurance factor into this, and how is that handled?
Yeah, great question. So today, some of the services are covered by certain insurances. It's quite complex still, and it's very early days. I think as we look down the road, there's going to be a lot there, but I don't want to get too far ahead of ourselves. So for today, we're really focused on the cash pay market. Most of the practitioners out there are only going to take cash anyways because the overhead for like a solopreneur to be able to figure out insurance is just really high. One way we can get around it, though, is that they can, if a practitioner by chance does take the insurance and your insurance by chance does cover it, what they can do is they can do a reimbursement, right? So they can give you the itemized receipt that you would need to follow up. The other way we can kind of get around a little bit of fully cash pay is HSAs and FSAs. So a lot of these services will be covered under those.
One follow-up. Then the way y'all make money is strictly on the, I think it was $33.
Yeah, consumer membership for today.
Okay.
And again, hopefully in the future we're going to be selling to employer benefits. And I think there are some interesting areas in payers, but I don't want to get there yet.
Maybe a difficult question, but a lot of platforms, I perceive this business more as a platform business, in particular for scaling up. So myself put in the shoes of a customer, so it's a lot about the trust in the providers. So what are their criteria for the providers to join? How do you screen them? And how do you prevent customers and providers or members and providers to stay in the platform rather than just going as a long-term collaborate? It could be a long-term treatment. How do you prevent them from leaving your platform?
Yeah, great questions. I feel like those are two. So I know I'm almost out of time, but I'll try to quickly. So the first one, we have a defined vetting process today that we've been honing over this MVP. So usually we start with referrals. If it's a cold, it doesn't mean that you have to know somebody to get in, but it helps. If it's cold, we just do a tiny bit more. We typically do a big digital deep dive, so lots of reading of reviews and sort of their overall take. We have a very defined ICP on this side of the market, so knowing exactly what type of practitioner we're looking for. And then I actually meet with every single one. If that's not enough, if we're still not sure, my teammate and I often will secret shop, and we'll actually go to them and get a service. That's obviously not scalable, although secret shoppers are a thing, so we could think about that, an ambassador program in the future. People love these services, so don't think it would be pulling too many arms. And then in terms of moat, I think our provider network will become the moat in terms of keeping people on the platform. I always thought about that with Uber too, but the reality is if you're getting a very good influx of clientele, your incentive to cut us out just goes down. We're also not charging practitioners, so they don't have a ton of incentive to cut us out.
Awesome. Thank you, Brenna. And I left my water up here. I left my water up here like 2 pitches ago. Our next pitch is from Megan Manning, MBA 17, and Michael Manning with Kukuran.
Hi, I'm Megan Manning, CEO and co-founder of Kukuran. If I say the phrase starving artist, immediately you have an image in your head. You can probably envision someone that's passionate about their craft and not making any money. That's absolutely true and backed up by data. 75% of artists make $10,000 or less per year from their art. On the other hand, consumers want unique original pieces of art, but they lack cash, confidence, and commitment. Our customers have told us that it's intimidating to shop for art. They don't always know what a fair price is and if they're getting it, and that they don't feel like they have enough information to make an informed decision and a long-term commitment to a piece of art. Right now, there are 3 major ways that you can shop for art. You can walk into a gallery. The trouble with that is the artist has to part with at least 50% of the sale as commission. You can also sell online as an artist, but it's really difficult to rise above the noise of the internet, and consumers are not always confident in purchasing a piece directly from the artist. Last, there are art fairs. The trouble here is fine art is sold right next to knickknacks, and it drives the price of the art down for the artist. Kukuran is a curated platform where independent artists can sell directly to customers. Much like Etsy, the artist manages their page and their profile. They answer customer service inquiries through the platform, and they're also able to print a prepaid shipping label and ship the product to the customer. And this model allows us to build scale quickly. For the consumer, this is our webpage. If you go online to kukuranshop.com, you can browse from 96 pieces of art currently. You can filter by medium, by artist, or by price. If you're ready to make a commitment, you can click into either a piece of art or an artist and learn more about that piece. When you check out, much like you would on any website, you just add it to your cart. From there, you can choose whether you want to pay for that piece of art fully up front or whether you want to pay for it in installments over time. Additionally, we know that consumers have a really hard time committing to art, and so we offer risk-free returns, which means that if you buy a piece of art from Kukuran and it doesn't work for your space, you can return it for a full refund, and we cover the return shipping. The art market is huge. In 2023, $65 billion of art was sold, and almost half of that was sold in the United States. You might ask yourself, would I really buy a piece of original art online? Trust me, it's kept me up at night. The answer to that is yes. Not only have we already sold art online in just our first year, Art Basel is probably the most recognizable and most well-respected art fair in the world. In 2024, they come out with this headline in bold saying that the art industry is banking on online sales. Since 2019, online sales of art have increased by 96%. Additionally, 76% of those sales were for values less than $10,000. That is great news for Kukuran because that is just the segment of the market that we're targeting. We make money 2 ways, through commissions on sales and subscriptions. Right now, artists really only have the option to part with high commissions. But at Kukuran, you can come in, choose not to commit to the monthly fee either because you can't or you're not ready to, and that is perfectly fine. We keep more of the commission. On the other hand, if you're an artist selling well online, you can opt to pay a higher monthly fee, but a much lower commission. In the long term, this really plays out as artist-friendly. We launched our website about a year ago, and we've learned a lot. From the beginning, we wanted to scale, and we knew it was going to be hard to find a solution to scale a product that is selling individual works of art. That is where the artist platform management comes in, as well as our new revenue model. So all the revenue you see year to date is based on 30% commission only. We're planning to change the model, and if we can hit modest growth rates by the end of 2026, we'll be just under $240,000 in revenue. We do have competition. you've probably heard of the brand, I always say artsy, Etsy. Etsy is a terrific platform, but it sells trash next to treasure. It is not a good fine art shopping experience for the customer. On the other hand, you can shop at a Saatchi Art. Saatchi does no curation. Anyone can apply and sell on Saatchi. There's also Artsy. Artsy targets galleries. So galleries pay to be on Artsy. You cannot be on Artsy as an independent artist. And if you're selling work on Artsy through your gallery, you still have to give a gallery that very, very high commission. Last, there is a company that's been around for about 10 years called Artfinder. They have a similar model with a bit of a different pricing structure, but they're based in the UK. Right now, we are turning away artist submissions because we're focused on the business model. That is about to change. But even with that being said, we have 14 artists and almost 100 artworks on the site, and we have 500 prospective artists in our CRM for when we are ready to roll out our new model. Additionally, we've developed relationships with local developers Ben and Burka, and our art is in their new co-working space called The Rigs in partnership with designer Martha Pearson. We know that interior designers are going to be key partners because interior designers become trusted partners for their clientele. What that means is if your designer suggests a piece of art, you're much more likely to go out and buy it. It gives you that confidence. Our target customer is 40 to 50 years old, female and affluent. Additionally, we are looking to catch them when they have moved, such as buy a new home, or when they've renovated, because these are moments when we know people are shopping for art. On the artist side, we are looking for talented artists who lack gallery representation. In terms of go-to-market strategy, we know we have to have a strong digital presence. But we also want to go where we know our consumers are. Print publications, such as Garden and Gun, that attract design enthusiasts. Also trade shows. We attended High Point Market this spring, which is the largest trade show for interior design in the world, to see what was going on in the art scene there. We think that's a great channel. Additionally, we plan parties. When you go to a gallery reception, it's fun for some people, but it's intimidating for others. We want to make shopping for art fun. So we bring in artists so that they can connect face-to-face with the community, possibly through a workshop. Maybe the artist teaches a watercolor class for beginners. Or maybe we bring in a local band and have a little bit of a party. Think fun. Currently, we have 2 people on our team. Myself, I have experience scaling and exiting a company successfully, and my co-founder is a marketing expert. We are asking for $19,000. $5,000 would be a one-time expense to hire a subject matter expert to build out our platform on Shopify. $12,000 is 6 months of marketing, and $2,000 would cover an entire year's worth of parties and events. That's fine.
So I have a question for you. When it comes to that concept of, you commented trash next to treasure, right? And your curated platform, how are you managing or coaching the artists on how to price their works so that there isn't a big price difference where that feeling of trash and treasure could begin to emerge?
Absolutely. So that curation is key. A luxury consumer wants to go on a site and have a cohesive feeling for what they're looking at. In terms of pricing is very difficult in the art world. However, we're stealing from the competition a little because Artsy has a public database on price. So I can go in and look at artists and see what similar works of art are priced at. And we do that and we compare that. And then within the artist's body of work, typically it's done on sizing. So lots of artists like to use a per square inch price point. There's some deviation there if they're using multiple mediums, but there is a scientific formula backed with some intuition. And again, on price, We talked about less than $10,000. Less than $10,000 is not a very expensive piece for a gallery, but it's a good sale for us. And somewhere between $2,500 and $10,000 is a good entry price point for someone that can afford original art but isn't ready to spend $20K plus.
I was going to ask a quick question. What kind of feedback have you gotten from some of your recent customers?
Feedback from customers?
Yes.
They love it. We have had customers that are buying as gifts. Our first customer was buying a gift for her husband, lives in Georgia, fell in love with the painting, shipped it to him, knew she could return it, loved the whole experience. We have had no returns thus far. We also plan to offer art consultations where we will meet with a customer on Zoom or in person to help them place art. So we know that's a high touch point sale. It's working right now. In the future, we really want to build some tools to help the customer discover their artistic style, like I hate to say it, but like a BuzzFeed quiz, like which one do you like, right? And so people need the confidence to make that purchase, and I think part of that is helping them discover what they like, and part of that, which we're very good at doing, and part of that is the return policy. You don't want to be stuck with a $10,000 painting that doesn't work for your room. We get that. We don't expect many returns. We haven't had any, but you need an out. And so I think that's a key part of selling art online is the out for the customer.
So Megan, this isn't fair because you and I talked last semester. But between then and now, you've mentioned the importance of interior decorators and them being trusted agents of the potential buyers. What have y'all done from the spring to now to make you feel like the interior designers would be willing to represent your product?
Interior designers love beautiful things. So I don't think it's hard to get them in love with the product. What I think is challenging with interior designers, and to answer your question, our interview process is very in-depth. So when I meet with a designer, it's usually about an hour, either on Zoom or coffee. So we get a lot of information. There are a couple of features that they would like to see. One is the ability to rent the art, which we're exploring. We see that not as a platform of the company, but a feature that we can layer on to make this very appealing to artists. So the other is in-person consultations. The designers love it. I will be completely honest and say the challenge with designers is once someone has spent $500K plus on their home, they have some spending and decision fatigue, even for smaller projects. So we know one of the things we're going to have to work with is about 1 year in lag time, and they typically come back to the designer, and they're ready to pick the finishes. They got the couch in. They got the basics. About a year later, they circle back to that designer. So I think that's when we're really going to layer in the service to the designer and say, perfect. You can be our partner. We're going to help you give your customer an excellent experience.
All right. Thank you, Megan.
I'm sure your wife and I would be happy having a coffee.
That's awesome. Great work. Sorry, we're handing out some game boards here. I'm so impressed by all of y'all tonight. This is really great. I get so excited. I don't know. Everybody's... Uh-oh. So as y'all might have caught on, our next pitch is a board game called Drunken Board with Austin Malin, who just recently graduated in the spring of 24.
Okay. Can I ask, when you first entered college, were you ever scared out of your mind, longing for that sitcom-worthy friend group but having no idea how to break the ice? Well, that was me 4 years ago. I was longing for connections and memories, but needed an occasion, something to kickstart conversations so that my painful attempts at small talk would not get in the way. So I did the only logical thing and created a hand-drawn drinking game. This is New Orleans after all. Something that would, yes, inspire conversations, unlike games like beer pong, and never get repetitive. Now, here I am, pleased to introduce you to my good friend, Drunk and Bored. Half board game, half drinking game, and a whole lot of fun. It's easy to play. Simply roll the dice, move the ducks, and do the dare that's on the square. If you don't want to do it, you drink. And you keep going until the first person reaches the finish line. You're pretty much guaranteed to leave with some good stories every time you play. Now listen, I am not the first person to come up with a drinking board game. But that is a good thing, I promise. It proves that a market already exists. As a whole, the board game industry is on the rise, so good timing. Here are my top 3 competitors. And as you can see, there are many areas in which Drunken Board shines. But my personal favorite is Drunken Board's innovative vinyl mat design, which makes it 100% waterproof, easy to clean, and incredibly portable. You would think that this is a requirement for drinking games, but no. My competitors use a flimsy cardboard design that they can only advertise as splash-proof at best. Plus, my customers get an added bonus of drinking for a cause because I donate 10% of my profits to the New Orleans Women and Children's Shelter. Now, I'm talking about my customers, but let's get clear on who they are. First, meet Marge. Marge Arita. You guys get it. She is in the age range of college student to young professional, and her desire is simple. She is looking for something unique to do on the weekends to bring her closer to her friends. Next, meet Jim. Jim and Tonic. He is the owner of, say, the boot store. I know some of y'all have been there. And he has a simple desire to sell more drinks. Luckily for him, Drunken Board requires more drinks than the average night in. So by stocking it in his store, customers are inspired to buy something more than the 16-ounce Voodoo IPA can. Yes, I speak from experience. Now, luckily for all of us, there are a ton of college students in America. And if you narrow it down to just those who drink, who report playing drinking games, and imagine I captured just 5% of that population, that's already $10.35 million in sales. Now, how am I going to reach these people? Well, I have already created a Shopify website that I drive traffic to through my social media channels that I've identified to be the most popular among my target audience. I will sell to bars and liquor stores, particularly near college campuses, as well as host pop-ups in those areas. And I'm looking to get started with some local specialty retail like Dirty Coast, who I have already reached out to, and host a weekly booth at the Frenchman Street Art Bazaar. Because what better target audience for a drinking game than drunk people already looking to have a good time? Now, I'm not doing this completely alone, thank goodness. The incredible Trent Dang, owner of Barrett's Lounge, is my B2B sale advisor as I market to other bars and liquor stores. I have an in-house intellectual property lawyer who I pay horrifically low to handle things like copyright and liability because he is the joy of being my father. I have already established a partnership with William Chen, a manufacturer in China who will print the packaging for me as soon as I have the funds, and Christopher Burton at Document on Baronne Street, who handles the printing of the board itself. With their help, I was able to launch my website back in May with initial supply of 50 boards. As of today, I only have 5 left. I've been selling them for $24.99 at a 37% profit margin. Here is my current cost of goods. And if you couldn't tell, it is way more expensive than it needs to be. But in order to get it down, I need your help. Today, I am asking for $15,000 to be able to place a bulk order for printing and game materials, which will significantly improve my profit margin. Here is an example in the difference in cost of goods. As you can see, I have the opportunity to get it down by over 50%, which means a lot more money being able to be reinvested back into the company. Next, I will be able to afford branded packaging because, let's face it, this sad DIY packaging just won't cut it anymore. But if I was able to sell games when it looked like this, I really think it's only up from here. Next, I intend to invest in some equipment, like for street vending at the art bazaar, and a printer because I am kind of tired of biking to the library every time I have to print shipping labels. And I will also hire some more hands on deck, like for when tax season rolls around, because I am many things, but a skilled accountant is not one of them. And finally, the rest will go to fees like LLC, Shopify fees, and of course, marketing. I'm going to send some PR boxes to micro-influencers to really kickstart my social media marketing campaign. With all of these necessary changes, I will be able to increase my profits exponentially. I will be able to launch in local and then national retail, create a wholesale-ready product, and establish a recognizable brand, which will all bring me to over $500,000 in just 3 years, which is crazy. I'm already looking forward to scaling opportunities like sponsoring board game nights at bars, partnering with relevant brands like Upside Hangover Cure, who I am already in contact with, create different game iterations, think expansion packs, different editions like Bachelorette Party, Pride, you name it. And finally, maybe even a drunken board app is in our future. I don't know. The world is our oyster. Now, I'm sure you're wondering what my end goal is. Well, I hope that you can tell, but I am currently having a whole lot of fun with this product. But that fun must be contagious, because recently a licensing agent reached out to me, whose daughter bought my game and raved about it. He has agreed to take Drunken Board with him to the Toy Association's fall preview, where top toy and game manufacturers from all over the world will meet. There, he will gauge interest in Drunken Board and even play it at networking events, a more PG version, of course. He is confident that he can find and convince some of these companies to keep their eye out on me as I build the Drunken Board brand. But in order to do that, I need your help, because I need to create a recognizable brand that has that brand loyalty that will support the scale that I believe this game is capable of. Thank you so much. Hi, guys.
How do you protect this intellectual property? Because it is an intellectual property.
Right.
And I can't see any copyright or anything like this.
Right.
So what would be the right form of IP protection or protection in any sort to prevent this great idea to roll over like those great times in New Orleans?
Luckily, back to my father. I've talked about this with him extensively. He is an intellectual property lawyer, so we already have the name and the game design trademarked, you know. And I'm also looking into the material. I am the first person to come up with that vinyl waterproof design. And I really think that that is what makes my product so different than what's on the market. So if I am not able to protect it, I might as well use this head start that I have to become the best in the market. So that's why I'm trying to build that brand up, so that even if other people come, I'm still the name brand.
From a liability perspective,
yes.
How are you managing that and what is the company's risk?
Yes, also something I have been talking about extensively with my father. If you could see from where you start, the next piece, little square, is actually a disclaimer that's saying, drink water, don't know your limits. If you scan the QR code right there, that brings you to the player's manual. It is riddled with disclaimers. So it's like, please don't sue me, don't be dumb. And, you know, it's riddled with it. And you don't have to drink while you play, and it says that right there. I've played with many sober people, but they keep winning. I don't know how.
A great presentation. How do you think about what this becomes?
Right.
So you've got a board.
Yes.
You sell sort of capacity. What do you do next?
Right. So that's why my next step is with the licensing agent. Oh, am I playing with it? Oh my gosh. I'm sorry, guys. I fiddle. So that's why actually the licensing agent that reached out to me, I'm super excited to work with, because I really think that through him, I will be able to take this company to the next step. Obviously, I'm just one person. My background is in advertising. Hi, Olivia Scott. Hi, Christy. Hi, Dr. Rogers. And basically, I would love to stay on as a branding advisor, but if I'm able to find a licensing or a partnership for distribution and manufacturing, that would be great, because, you know, if it does scale to that scale, then it's going to have to be someone else who can really fulfill that. And even if I am still waiting to hear back from those people from the licensing agent, if I do get some funds tonight, I'm looking into things like Bayou Brands, which is they have a company in New Orleans who actually does handles fulfillment for online orders. So if I was able to place a bulk order, it all wouldn't necessarily just be coming out of my guest room. So, yeah.
All right, and that is hit Austin. I'm over here now. Congratulations. You can get him back later. Yeah, you'll wait. All right, up next is Sean Mulligan from the class of 22, MBA 23, Idea Village, all the good stuff. Sean Mulligan, everybody.
You probably know that honey is generally good for you, but what makes it special? Raw honey contains bacteria and enzymes that contribute to its numerous health benefits. It can be used to mitigate blood sugar spikes, it's rich in antioxidants, and it can soothe sore throats and seasonal allergies. But honey has never been the easiest material to work with. It's sticky, it's messy, and if you don't store it properly, it can start to crystallize and look like the bottle on the right. Meanwhile, people have showed that they're busy. The portion packs market refers to products that stress mobility and convenience. These products are typically able to charge more while offering less because their product is packaged in a way that fits directly into a customer's lifestyle. Honey's yet to make this jump. There's honey sticks and honey packets, but these aren't adaptable to someone's day-to-day life unless they're also prepared to carry around scissors and wet wipes. With its numerous health benefits, if I had the choice to have honey with me all the time, I would. This is my band at the last show of our most recent tour. We played 12 shows in 17 days, and during that time, I relied on tea and honey to make sure my voice felt fresh and healthy. I traveled with my own tea, but I never expected it to be a challenge to find honey on the road. Almost every hotel we stayed at didn't have honey available. Even Dunkin' Donuts doesn't carry honey. When I got home from the tour, I started working in my kitchen to create a solid form of honey that I could take with me on the road. As I worked and started talking to customers, I came up with Hey Hey Honey, a solid, mess-free, and portable new form for honey. It's made with raw honey, and it dissolves quickly in hot water. As I spoke to potential customers and honey farmers, two things became clear. We need to maintain the natural health benefits of pure, local honey, and the packaging should be eco-friendly and thoughtful. So why now? Americans are drinking tea now more than ever as they're looking for alternatives to coffee and caffeine. At the same time, the demand for honey is rising as young people are more concerned about the effects of processed sugars. Honey's long been trusted, and it's now at a moment where people are actively gravitating towards it. We want to be a brand that brings unique utility and experiences to this movement so that people feel like it was made for them. The National Honey Board is an organization that operates under the Department of Agriculture. They conduct market research and campaigns on behalf of the honey industry. I got to speak to a representative from this organization. He gave me a lot of really great data. Their report showed that honey sales in the United States exceeded $1 billion last year. When you look at the top 10 markets, these major cities made up about a third of those total sales. With those data points, we've reached a serviceable addressable market of 313 million. But we want to be very intentional and target just 1% of that group to put this product in the hands of people who are going to help us spread the word. We plan to sell a tin of 8 drops for $8 at retail. We'd also be offering single-serve commercial bulk packaging for commercial clients. As we're developing this product, we're targeting a 45% profit margin. During the pandemic, a lot of young people started to incorporate tea into their lives, and those trends have really held up as the world opened up. Over 55% of tea drinkers in the U.S. are under the age of 40, and yet the market is yet to make a really strong attempt at building something really aimed at that group. Our ideal customer is 25 to 40 years old. They're living in or around a major city, and they're constantly on the move. They're conscious of their health, and they prioritize it by making space in their day for wellness activities that they enjoy. We're perfecting our organic honey drops for use in tea and other hot beverages, and we see a lot of potential for product line extensions. We could create products specifically for people who are conscious of their blood sugar levels and really stress that sort of casual medicinal quality of honey. We'd also have seen through interviews that this product could have multiple applications in culinary and bartending settings. We see that as a really exciting direction to eventually explore. There are competitors in this space, but we want to stand out by bringing a fun new energy to a product category that's traditionally felt old and medicinal. Honeybee is a Canadian company specializing in dehydrated honey drops and gummies. They had a patent in the United States, but it lapsed a couple of years ago, and their products are only available in Canada and online at the moment. Wetherspoon is an American company. They specialize in Manuka honey. This company raised over $5 million in capital and was recently acquired by a private equity firm in New Zealand. And One Shot is the newest competitor on this list. Their product mixes a few ingredients together and is more of a lozenge that isn't meant to be incorporated into anything. We want to launch this product through partnerships that are going to establish us as the new way to experience honey. Partnering with tea subscription services would be a fantastic way for us to put this product directly in the hands of potential customers. This space is really taking off, and they're looking for exciting new products to expose their subscribers to. We think Hey Hey Honey could be perfect for that. We'd also look to partner with boutique hotels and music venues early on to validate the practicality and effectiveness of this product. Our ultimate goal is to expand our reach nationally by working through distributors. So grocery stores, hotels, convention centers, we want to be where our customers are, and we really want to focus on retail because that's where people are buying honey. We would definitely have an online presence. We might even offer exclusive blends or flavors through that channel. But for the most part, we want to focus on having our products on retail shelves. We see a clear path towards $45,000 in sales in our first year. We've spoken to a co-packer in Shreveport who's ready and prepared to produce our product and has a minimum order size of 300 units. This whole first year would really be focused on partnerships so that we can start to approach distributors in 2026. My name's Sean Mulligan. I'm a singer and solo founder who's been working in startups at the Idea Village for about 3 years now. I'm working with the LSU Food Innovation Institute to finalize product development and get all of the necessary nutrition labels. Grayson Gavris designed my branding. He's going to continue to work with me as I refine the product. And I've been working with a fantastic team of advisors who have really helped me think through manufacturing, marketing, and food and beverage product development. And these are some of the honey farmers and beekeepers who have been instrumental in teaching me about honey. They've just been super willing to answer my questions, and I've really appreciated having their support throughout all this. This funding would allow us to complete product development with LSU and obtain all of our necessary nutrition labels. We've engaged with legal counsel so that we're ready to file a patent as soon as we have a process that does everything we need to make this product a success. My email's Sean at Hey Hey Honey if you'd like to reach out and learn more, and I'd be happy to take any questions.
One of the things that immediately came to mind is that people who like honey are also people who want natural product and organic product. And earlier you showed that honey can go back to its crystallized natural state. As I look at what is in here, it is clearly gelatinous. Yeah. So is that a chemical process? Is that an additive to the honey? How are you getting that texture, and how do consumers feel about it?
Yeah, absolutely. So I have been talking to consumers a lot about their feelings of mixing ingredients, and ultimately they really want all natural. They want organic, and so what we've been looking at is thickening agents that operate at a low level of heat, because as heat gets higher, the bacteria and enzymes with honey start to die off, and it basically becomes something that tastes like honey but doesn't have those nutritional benefits. And so right now we are using gelatin, but part of my work with LSU is going to be finding a thickening agent that can activate at a low enough heat to hold it all together.
I like your product. It tastes good, too. So it's a two-part question. You listed a bunch of different stores and potential outlets. One, have you approached them, and have you talked to any of them about putting it on their shelf, and have you gotten a positive response? And secondly, how did you come up with a 45% profit margin? Is that net bottom line profit, or is that gross margin?
Yeah. Great questions. I'll go for the first question. I've had some really promising conversations with Hotel Henrietta, the Chloe, and Jazz Fest hospitality managers, saying that they definitely see the use cases for this on coffee carts, in green rooms, and things like that, just to make that whole process easier and to be a cool thing to sort of offer to their guests. I think that they'd be really key in helping us just test it in these commercial settings and sort of validate, like I said, that practicality of the product. In terms of the pricing, we based that kind of backed into that pricing in terms of what our cost of goods were right now as I'm producing in my kitchen at home, and kind of basing that on conversations that I was able to have with those hospitality managers of the price range that they were willing to pay for in-room type services. And so on like the per drop per serving level, they were getting around 75 cents to $1 per serving, and so that's how I had arrived at that.
So that's kind of gross margin. It doesn't include all of your marketing expenses and everything else that goes.
Yeah, absolutely.
That comes
Purely
out of that
material.
45%.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm curious with the co-packer. What's he going to do price-wise?
Yeah.
What does he get you down on packaging? And I got to tell you, as someone who loves honey, uses it, it tastes delicious. But you're missing, I think, where's the gluten-free label? A lot of people know honey doesn't have gluten in it, but a lot of like my mother-in-law, she needs that before she buys it at Whole Foods, and I love her so much. I think there's a lot of like, I think your costs, I think they lied to you. I hate to tell you, because we put out coffee and tea all day, and I give a ton of it away. I would love something like this, but $1 a serving is not even where I'm putting out premium coffee. I'm not even paying that for the coffee.
Gotcha. Yeah, I had spoken to them, and the comparison point that really came up there was Wetherspoon, one of the competitors that I had mentioned. And the comparison point kind of comes from luxury clients who were coming in and kind of like asking for things on things like riders as they were coming in for performances at the music venues, and expensive guests who were coming into the hotels. But absolutely, I think right now, in terms of the label, that's been a work in progress. We were working through the design very actively over the past couple of weeks. I love that feedback because, I'm definitely in this iterative process of the packaging right now of like what buzzwords are going to get people to really see that, connect with it, and know the health benefits.
Awesome. All right. Thank you, Sean.
Yeah, thank you.
All right, we got a couple more of these left. Okay. Everybody's on time tonight, which I really am deeply appreciating. Round of applause for y'all being on time. All right, that is a mic for Jamie. Who's got the button first? Button? Okay. Up next, we have Bright Spot People with Maddie Chismar from Class of 12 and Jamie Smith.
We're Bright Spot People, and we build workplaces that employees love. Today, 7 out of 10 people are disengaged and unhappy at work. That means 7 out of 10 of your child's teachers, 7 out of 10 of the doctors and nurses that care for your family, 7 out of 10 of the pilots that fly the planes that you take on your annual family vacation are disengaged and unhappy at work, and it is a costly problem for businesses. Engaging employees is a $77 billion line item for businesses annually in the U.S. Over $10 billion spent on holiday gifts, $23 billion spent on company swag, and more than $42 billion spent on miscellaneous items, all aimed at engaging your employees. With all of that spending, you would think we'd be going in the right direction, but you would be wrong. It's not working. In fact, as of Q1 of this year, the number of employees who say that they are actively engaged in the workplace hit an 11-year low. Because the answer to getting people more engaged at work is not giving them a water bottle. But we do have the answer, because we lived it. We were the founding people team at the New Orleans-based startup LevelSet, where we spent years building an award-winning culture and a highly engaged team. We used a methodology that actually drives employee engagement. We focused on a high-purpose environment. We built a culture of intentional care, and we made sure everyone understood our business. When LevelSet was acquired for $500 million, and the second largest VC-backed acquisition, construction tech acquisition in history, our employee net promoter score was 30 points above the national average. Our employee retention rate was an astonishing 97%, and our comparably culture score was in the top 5% in the nation against other companies the same size as us. Today, we run a people ops consulting business, where we bring a suite of tools to business leaders who actually want to move the needle on employee engagement. And we want to talk about one of those tools specifically. We built an in-house solution for employee engagement that actually worked. At LevelSet, one of our core company values was start with love, which was actually inspired by none other than the quote, always have greater love than fear, Ignatius Loyola. Starting with love impacted and influenced everything that we did at LevelSet, including Bright Spot letters. We created a system to encourage employees to share letters of love and recognition on Valentine's Day. We thought it would be simple, easy, really didn't realize what it would become. We could have never imagined the impact that these letters would have on our business, and we want to bring that impact to other businesses. Bright Spot Letters takes gratitude that already exists in your company and transforms it into your most powerful tool. We set a 2-week period for employees to write their letters. We collect them, process them, customize them, and send them to your employees. And a new added feature is our Bright Spot Report. Because these letters not only motivate your employees, but they also provide valuable insights to leadership teams.
Thanks, Jamie. We have spent almost 10 years evaluating employee engagement tools. We've even used some of our competitors in the past, and while they did have value, we always felt that they actually lacked a lot of the impact that we wanted for our team. So we turned to our own in-house solution in order to build something that would scale as our business grew, that would use customized branding that felt personal to us, that would focus on our own internal gratitude and appreciation from our employees, and would give them a moment of pride. And of course, we wanted those insights. I don't know about y'all, but if you've ever passed out a bunch of swag at a company meeting or for somebody's anniversary, you don't really get any return on investment with that. You don't get any insights. And that's why our solution has much more of an impact than our competitors. Right now, we are a profitable consulting company. Our next stage of the business would be to introduce Bright Spot Letters as a productized service. But we're not going to stop there. We want to continue to iterate on our product offerings and build out a full suite of employee engagement software that would compete with some of the biggest names in employee engagement today and tap into that $77 billion market. We already have early traction that's been really exciting, and we have a path for more revenue. Our current pricing model is divided between our consulting side of the business, which has a rate based on hour of our time, and then the Bright Spot letters, which we would charge clients $25 per participant in the Bright Spot letters. And trust me, if you've ever bought a custom Yeti cup, that is a much lower price than what you would pay for that custom swag. We already have 3 current clients, and we have prospects who we're meeting with throughout the rest of this year, 7 in total who'd like demos. We know our personas very intimately. We've worked with them, and honestly, we've been them in the past when we led a people operations team. We see a very clear path to becoming a company that can bring in over $1 million by 2027 if we continue to focus on our consulting efforts and the productized services. And we have that plan to grow. We plan to use our existing network and leverage content marketing to be able to reach new leads. Part of that would be through our Gulf South Innovators podcast, which we are launching early next year, where we would be meeting with leaders either in or from the Gulf South who are innovating company culture in their businesses. There's probably a couple people in this room who we want to talk to when this is over to come be guest speakers for us. Jamie and I have years of experience helping businesses improve their employee engagement, and we're backed by an advisory board that is brilliant and believes in us and our product. And candidly, our biggest thing is we are passionate about this. We are both mothers of 2 young children, and we are passionate about their future. We don't want them to grow up in an environment where 7 out of 10 people are unhappy with their jobs. And we don't want them to be unhappy with their careers either. So this isn't just something we do for the business, it's something we do for us. Thank you. We are asking for $20,000 to help fund Bright Spot Letters. We have an app that we are very passionate about using. It would streamline the operations on the back end in making the letters easily repeatable with our clients. We would spend the rest of the budget on our podcast launch and new marketing hooks to generate more leads. Thank you, everyone, for your time. And if you'd like, we actually have some former colleagues who have brought their Bright Spot letters with them today. So if you'd like to see what that looks like, come see. Thank you.
Thanks for the presentation. I'm a big believer in sharing love to make your employees feel valued and stay. I'm curious about your model, because I also believe in writing thank you notes across the board to employees, which looks like what you're doing. And so what are you offering that me just encouraging my employees to write those personal notes and put them in the mail that I just go buy at Hallmark in a pack? What am I getting for the $25 per letter that I'm not already doing?
So a few things. First of all, there's something great to be said about setting that time limit. This was an event in our company that people looked forward to, and we set time to make sure that people had adequate time to spend and dedicate towards writing these letters. In addition to that, when we provide our Bright Spot report, we're sharing insights about what's going well in the business directly from the employees. We will often get asked, well, if employees know that their letters aren't private, will they participate? At Level Set, it was no secret that the People Ops team ran this process and that we could read their letters. But this program grew exponentially year over year, resulting in thousands of letters being exchanged, and we never had to censor a single one. In addition to that, you will actually get your letters customized, branded, mailed. It becomes a special moment for your team at a special point in time.
We also offer consulting on this to make sure it's successful. I love that, Kimberly. I love the idea of businesses doing this more and more, even if they're not using us. We even encourage that. But when you would use us, we'd provide you the backing to help you with the internal communication, making sure that it actually lands with employees and that you're getting the results you want from it.
You mentioned Level Set a few times, so that's where you worked prior, before you started this idea. Now, besides the letters, what do you attribute the success of Level Set to? Was it teamwork? Everybody on the same page?
How much time do you have? To keep it simple for the people aspect, I would say that we really did focus on the right things, and it wasn't passing out water bottles. It was a high-purpose environment and really connecting people to the impact that our business was having. It was creating that culture of care that was letters that bled out into other areas. It was always making sure, working very hard, that everyone understood our business, providing information, providing training, repetitively talking about what was important to our customers and our team.
You talk about insights, and part of me wonders how that impacts the quality of the letters that are going out. Do the writers know? Are these letters read by other people? How are they holding back? Are they maybe over being too nice?
We did this for years at LevelSet, and it resulted in thousands of letters being sent. But as we said, it was never a secret that our entire People Ops team had to sort these letters and read them. And it grew year over year. You don't have to censor the bright spots. You don't want to censor them. People are sharing the positive things going on in your business, and you want to unearth them. You want to shout it from the rooftops. You want to multiply them. We never had to censor a single letter, and if you do read some of the messages that we've shared, I don't think our team was holding back. If anything, I think it was an elevated time where they were really spending time deeply thanking their colleagues.
I'm not sure.
Thank you.
Yeah, sorry. Thank you all.
That was awesome. Thanks, John. Good job. All right, we got two more. That's good. Let me get over to the next slide here. There we go. All right. I went one too fast. We got it? You got it? Okay. What's that? There we go. Okay, cool. All right. Up next is another one of our awesome recent, literally couple of months ago graduates, Yolanda Timothy with Mela.
Okay. Now imagine hearing that once every 8 minutes. And research shows that with every study session that a college student commits themselves to, one notification sound will erase the last 90 seconds of work that they studied. But let's put all of this into perspective and meet Lily, our college social butterfly who loves all things fashion. But like many college students, Lily is anxious about doing well academically. Now, though she may be very tech savvy, she's also easily distracted and she struggles to focus. So we're going to call college students, just like Lily, the driven but distracted. Now, here's the real problem. Lily has a huge exam coming up in just 2 days. And like a typical procrastinator, she left it until the very last 2 days to learn the entire textbook. So, one day, Lily sits down and she's ready to go using her online textbooks. Then her friend sends her a text. It's a fashion video on TikTok that Lily just has to watch in that moment. So, naturally, she goes on. But now here's the problem. She's scrolling on TikTok for about 10 to 15 minutes. And then one of the captions on TikTok prompts her to go onto Instagram. So naturally, Lily goes on Instagram because, she has to. But now, that's an additional 15 minutes that Lily's on Instagram, scrolling, liking, commenting, when she bumps into her favorite YouTuber, Bella, who just posted an hour-long video on YouTube that, of course, Lily has to watch. But if you think about it, Lily has now spent 2 hours not doing what she set out to do, which was study. And I know that a lot of college students in this room right now, and a few adults, can relate to the story that I just shared. So how do we help students do 2 things that they have to do to succeed academically? Read and study. Now that is where Mela comes in, an innovative learning assistant app that is going to help college students study effectively with no distractions. But how do we do it? With our 3 core features. Now, number one, we know that the college schedule is filled with everything except actual study time. So, with Mela, students are going to be encouraged to actually schedule out their study time. And once they're in that period, their phone or laptop will automatically go into Do Not Disturb. Now, our second feature is our bookmark extension. When students are using online textbooks, they'll be able to give Mela permission. Now, once they're in, they can highlight or copy any text in their textbook and store it all in one central location on the Mela app. Our third feature is our distraction nudge. Because most times people just don't realize that they're actually using TikTok for so long. So after 10 seconds of being on a distraction app, they will receive a very gentle nudge that brings awareness to them and tells them, hey, you actually set out to study right now, and you're scrolling on Instagram. So let's, get back to what we set out to do. Now, if we look at Mela's market, it's incredibly scalable. We're looking to partner with colleges across the USA and the world who are using Canvas and Blackboard as their learning management system. But let's go even deeper. So if every college had to offer Mela to their students, we'd have over $120 million in annual revenue. But looking at our colleges that are using Canvas and Blackboard, we have $90 million in revenue. And in Mela's initial phase, which will be Louisiana, we have $474,000 in revenue. And this is how we want Mela to show up for our students, on their app dashboard of showing the other features that their colleges offer. We want it to be easy, accessible, and free. How do we do that? We're going business to business, and we're selling a package to different colleges. Now, once the college buys it, it'll essentially be free to all of the students. We're pricing Mela at 50 cents a student per month. So that equals $6 every year per student. And if you look at it, an estimate that we have for how much different colleges pay for Canvas and Blackboard, it's between $3 to $10. So that shows us that Mela is fairly priced in this market. But how do we get to these colleges? First, we're targeting schools that use Canvas and Blackboard. We're using a digital marketing campaign and a pilot program to show us just how we can keep making Mela better for students. Looking at our growth projections, looking at our first year, we have 474. In year 2, targeting Houston schools as well, 900,000. And year 3, 2027, including Florida, we have 1.8 million in projected revenue. Now, healthy competition is good. And I know that there's apps such as Notion, Brick, and StudyBuddy who are helping a lot of people focus. But with Mela, we stand out with our bookmark extension and our distraction reminder. Now, for the team, I'm currently writing solo, but the 2 roles that I'm looking to fill immediately are the head of the tech development and head of finance. Now, what Mela's asking for today is a $20,000 investment, and this is going to help us with app development, market launch, and product marketing. These are the 2 companies that I've approached to develop Mela. First, we have Tech Revel, which is based in Houston, and Zenith Software, which is based in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. So in the end, not only do we have an innovative solution, a scalable market, and a clear path to profitability, we have students like Lily who feel ready to achieve all of their academic goals. Thank you.
Great presentation. Thought you did a great job really defining the problem, which I wholeheartedly agree with. For everybody that's addicted to these iPhones, but can you talk about your research and how you got to this point in so far?
Yeah. So it was really interesting starting the program because I had to do a complete 360 from my original idea, and that's how I ended up at Mela. Because we're looking at selling physical textbooks, but once I had to pivot, I had to say, well, what are students struggling with right now in this digital era of using a lot of online textbooks? So I spoke to a lot of actual college students and some graduates, and I said, what are you struggling with when you're using, all these online textbooks? And they said it's majority distractions. I'm on my, studying on my laptop, but then I get a notification, and then I'm just all over the place, and I can't focus. So then I really had to get into how am I going to solve an issue that a lot of people are struggling with. Yeah. Thank you.
How does copyright come into play with having the section where you're storing full text from books that are published?
Yeah. So the main thing that I would like to emphasize is that we're not encouraging students to print it. It's really just to store it in one location, almost as if you're taking notes. So very similar to writing out something that you learned in the textbook, that's basically the same thing that Mela's going to be doing, just helping you keep it all in a very central location.
You mentioned, thank you, that's impressive idea. You mentioned Blackboard and Canvas. These are large companies. They may want to keep people on their platform without them going into Mela, for example. So I wonder if they would want it as sort of a feature of Blackboard or Canvas that can incorporate both the timetabling and the distraction board and etc. So do you see this potentially? Maybe there could be sort of collaboration between them. And have you spoken to someone about it in those companies about this product?
Potential collaboration. So to be very honest, I have not spoken to anybody in Canvas and Blackboard. But if that is the future of Mela to collaborate with companies such as Canvas and Blackboard, that would be amazing. But really the initial starting point would be to get it into those colleges and to really encourage them to push it to all of their students and just to see how much it can actually help their students, especially with colleges who are focused on health and wealth care for all their students. Yeah.
Oh. All right. Thank you, Yolanda. All right, we have only one left, which is great. First off, for timing-wise, and second, just because this is, I'm so blown away by all of you guys. This rules. Let me see, you got all of them? Okay, great. So last but not least, obviously, is our only faculty that made it through to the finalists this year, Katrina Schmidt with English Linguaverse.
Thank you. I'm an English teacher here at Loyola. I've been here for 3 years. So, of course, I'm here to talk about the English language. And this is Camila. She's a doctor in Mexico, and she speaks English, but she needs a higher level of English with medical terminology in order to talk to her U.S. patients who are coming to Mexico. This is a very common issue there. And this is Yuto, a professor in Japan. He is now tasked with teaching his math class in English. This is happening in universities around the world. They're moving towards teaching content classes in English. He doesn't have the confidence to teach in English, so he needs something like English Linguaverse. And we are going to create English communication for professionals with high-quality language classes on an accessible online platform. So a student like Camila would go to our website and take a short intake quiz. From there, she would receive a personalized learning plan based on her language needs and professional needs. And then from there, she can sign up for weekly online classes. She'll use our online platform where she will access her classes that are like Zoom. And she'll also have study materials she can use. Now, the English language market is huge. There's over 750 million English language learners worldwide. It's also, English is used as a lingua franca. That means it's a common language between many people whose language is not English. It's also used in many academic and professional fields, which means that learning English in many countries can make the huge difference in your life. Now, last year, just the digital English learning market was at $6.5 billion, but it's projected to reach $21 billion by 2031. That's not other languages, just English. And we did research with our target users, and it confirmed our suspicions that we already had as teachers. Students prefer a live, real teacher when they take online classes. Also, through our surveys, students said that they would spend at least $20 a month on English classes. Their motivation was also professional development, and what they really wanted was speaking and conversation classes. Now, I'm sure you've heard of Duolingo or you used it before. Duolingo did not make me fluent in Spanish. It's great, and there's many different apps and websites on the marketplace already, but they do not target English for specific purposes. That is English for different fields. For example, medical English, legal English, aviation English, and this is growing. We also will offer small classes with experienced TESOL qualified teachers. That's teaching English to speakers of other languages. And we will have a tiered subscription model. We'll start with $20 or $19 a month, and then we'll move on to a premium subscription. This will offer customers personalized learning plans, one-on-one feedback, and unlimited online content along with their classes. Now, English Linguaverse has already grown over 1,800 social media followers in a few months. My colleague and I also have a successful track record. We've created very similar courses in the past, like English for journalists, English for teacher trainers, English for professors, for different entities such as the U.S. Department of State and the U.S. military. My co-founder, Emma Rye, and I both have been working in this field for collectively over 30 years. Now, our goal is to reach 500 users by next year. Right now, we're focusing on direct to customers, but we would like to tap into our own market and reach the government, military, and universities, and we're currently working on bidding for government contracts. And then finally, we would like to scale to the B2B model. We would like to market English Linguaverse at conferences. Also, we would like to have online ads, and we will tap into our social media following. Our ask is $20,000, and we will use this for research and development to scale our efforts, technology infrastructure to launch our product, and marketing efforts. Thank you very much. Of course, I have references because I'm a teacher. Thank you.
So I love your idea. Do you have people lined up who are specialists in specific areas to teach English to those specialists?
Well, usually for English for specific purposes classes, it's typically English language teachers who create the content, but they have to do a lot of research or use books targeted towards that specific field.
Okay.
So that is something that we could look into in the future, is partnering with people that work in those professional fields as well to create content for our platform.
And just so I understand correctly, you've already deployed this on a small scale to consumers?
We haven't deployed English Linguaverse yet, but we've worked as contractors in the past, creating classes like this for the government and universities.
So you've already done classes for the government. You know how to win government contracts?
Yes.
Good.
Have you done any research on perhaps other countries that are interested in learning English, like Mexico being just...
I lived in Mexico for a few years, and I trained English teachers in Mexico for 2 years with the U.S. Department of State. And I lived in Colombia for many years. That's where I met my co-founder. We both worked at a university there together. So we've both worked in different universities abroad, and we've also done a lot of conference presentations worldwide. So we've been in this field for a long time. We've mostly focused on Latin America, but we've also I worked in China for a summer, and we have colleagues all over the world.
Can you tell us more about this macro trend? Did we just win with English? Like, what happened? Like, what's? I thought we were supposed to be more accepting, and you're showing like English is going through the roof.
I mean, I do think that I think there's a few different things. Like, English is used in a few different fields. And then also, in my own experience, universities worldwide are starting to offer classes in English. So it's just growing, making it more of a need. I don't know why English. I don't know. I always tell my students, I'm sorry you have to learn English. It's a crazy language. But
well, the answer is because people in the U.S. are too lazy or dumb to learn other languages, or arrogant.
I'm not going to comment on that.
Yeah, it just seems like it's a daunting task to take a foreigner who's steeped in his own language or her language and to teach him English so that they can communicate to students.
I've done it for years, but yes, it is.
What kind of roadblocks have you run into or problems?
Well, typically when they get to that point, they're already an intermediate or advanced English language speaker, and then they just have to level up their language skills to match their professional needs. So our users would already be probably intermediate or advanced speakers.
Okay, awesome. Thank you, Katrina.
Thank you.
Get the button. Get the button. I got it. No, it's all good. And I will take that. Thank you. Oh, there we go. Okay, cool. Now it's time for happy hour. Now it's time for the good part. Congratulations to all 8 of our teams tonight. Like, another huge round of applause for all of them, please. I am so blown away by all of y'all, and also the teams that didn't make it tonight, too. All 21 of these teams from this summer. Absolutely incredible. Thank you guys for all of your time and for all of your amazing hard work. Our judges, once they're done with their scores, get to go get the food and alcohol first, because they have to go answer some questions about who gets what. So give us a second, let our judges get out of here and wrap a couple things up, and then join us back here in 45 minutes-ish, hopefully. What time is it now? Yeah, 7:45. Hopefully about 8:30 we'll have some giant checks to hand out. Yeah, thank you guys for being here. We'll catch y'all in a little bit. If you were a team that presented tonight, before we hand anything out and people have sad faces on, can we please take a photo? I forgot to do that last year and I got in trouble. So if we could please get a photo with everybody before before choices have been announced. All right. Bobby is making me be the bad guy right now. Real quick, just one little... It's all good. All right. Thank you guys for coming tonight. Again, I really, really appreciate it. This has, and I mean, we all do. This has been a really great evening, and all 8 of our... Real quick round of applause one more time for all 8 of our teams. I cannot believe how amazing all of y'all are. And now we have some money to hand out. That was not fun. I did not like that. You know, I've worked with all of these teams since April, basically, and this has just been, I get very emotionally involved with things. So you know, this has been really great. But you know what? We're just gonna dive in. It's good. All right. Yes. Oh, Bobby, please.
I just want to tell y'all, this was a great cohort. It was really difficult to go through and make decisions. So pat yourselves on the back. Y'all deserve it.
All right, so we're going to start with the smallest amount first and then move upwards. And I think that is set up that way, right? Yeah. So with $4,000, we'd like to present to Gumbo Film Lab. Come on down, Hayden. Congratulations, Hayden. Mind if we get a photo? Yeah, here, give me a photo. Please, I don't have anything else to do with it. I don't know where you cash it, but I'll contact you later about your W-9. That's how we're saying about that. Who we got next? All right, with $7,000, we have Hey Hey Honey with Sean Mulligan. Yeah, you're right. Real quick story. Absolutely. You gotta be in the middle. Real quick story. Hold on a second, Bobby. Hold on. My son tried to spread one of those on a biscuit this morning. It went pretty well. So it's not just for your tea. All right, up next, we've got Drunken Board with another $7,000. I got an email from Austin's mom yesterday that was the nicest email I've ever had. So thank you, Austin's mom, if you're watching. I love you. We've got one left of these, and just again, this has been an absolute pleasure to get to work with y'all all this year. The last $12,000 that we are going to be giving out today is going to go to Brenna Kane with Ritually. You guys stand and get the shot.
Oh wait, Allie, come. Oh yeah. Yeah. Sorry. Sorry, I was trying to get it for the green.
That's it. Thank you guys so much. We'll see you next year. You guys rock on. Go Wolf Pack. Thank you guys.